And then dental school took a little bit of a turn for us because 7 months in, we went to a place called pre-clinic. And the instructor goes, I don't really care how smart you are. Here's a piece of wax. Make it look like a tooth. And I said, it's a piece of wax. Don't look like a tooth to me. And he'd be like, carve it, bitch. I was like, what? I was like, I don't know how to carve anything. I went to dental school, not art school. And that was a bad day. And the worst part was, I was like, well, this is stupid. And I turned around as my fingers are glued together with blue wax. And I was like, anybody else want to do this shit? And of course, there were like 20 people out of 100 who in 30 seconds created a perfect looking fucking tooth out of wax.
How'd that make
you
feel?
2 minutes ago, it was a piece of wax. And now it's a tooth. It looked like a tooth. I would put that in my mouth. It would look like a tooth.
The mediocre dentist. The mediocre dentist. 'Cause sometimes you just feel mediocre. The mediocre dentist. The mediocre dentist. I am mediocre. You are mediocre. And that's not that bad.
First day of dental school, you're sizing everybody up. And then the game starts. And they're like, you thought college was hard when you were taking chem and micro together and you had 4 hours of class together in one day? Oh no. Hey, let's do 9 hours of class a day. And then, by the way, we're going to test you every 72 hours. And I get it. You had it worse than I did.
Why?
Because you were with the medical school students.
Oh yeah, we were. Absolutely. We handed them their asses though, every test.
I feel bad. I learned about diabetes, but it wasn't like life and death for me. I was more focused on the dental material.
It did not make sense to me why I understood what the 4 layers of muscles in the foot were. It seemed like really far away from the mouth, but that was just me.
Yeah, we did cadaver dissection. Did you do cadaver dissection?
Sure did, but we did the whole body. We weren't just doing the head and neck.
We kind of did it, but it was more like fun.
Okay.
Fun? It was just kind of like, what's this?
Oh,
what's
we were
that?
like,
this looks like a heart.
Down and dirty. Yeah, no, heart, liver, you name it, kidneys.
But what happened if you didn't find something?
If you didn't find something, it wasn't about that. The test was crazy. Like the nerves, we had to know, I don't even know. There was a million, I don't remember, from the brachial plexus or something it was probably the most intense part of all of our training. And it made no sense. It had absolutely zero applicability. And we only did it so that we could ride on their funding so that dental school wouldn't cost even more exorbitant amount of money.
You know what I used to think about?
What's that?
So we're at cadaver section in year 1. And they're making us just carve up this person. And at the University of Pennsylvania, it was real people. And the only thing I could think, we had 100 people in our class.
That's what a
and
cadaver
it was
is.
4 people. I got it.
Okay.
But okay, maybe someone just like, what's this?
Like a fake
What's this
body?
mediocre dentist
Yeah.
podcast? Okay, they make up. No, there are dental schools where they have plastic cadavers now.
Really?
Yes, plastic cadavers.
They run out of bodies? People aren't donating to science anymore?
We had 100 people in the class.
Okay.
And it was 4 people per body.
Yeah.
And we went into the medical school and they assigned us a body. And we fucking carved that thing up. I mean, and the only thing I could think is that this poor little lady in her 60s or 70s said, I want to do something good to the world. I don't have money to donate. I'm too tired to go to the food bank. I will donate my body to science. Thinking maybe somebody gonna look at her body and figure out how to solve cancer.
Cure cancer, absolutely.
And it's me and my partners, John Sock, Scott Nord, and Ari Krug, if you're out there. And we just looking around. We were like, is this the heart? I was like, is this the heart? They're like, no, that's not the heart. I was like, is this the heart? They're like, no, that's not the heart. 0 came out of it. 0.
Our bodies, they knew they were going there though. See, that's different. UBC, they're like, no, it's going to be a bunch of kids.
They said it's going to dental students?
Going to the medical students. I think they said medical. I think
they would have been like, better. Maybe one of the medical students will go and solve cancer.
Canada.
They definitely didn't tell them that it's going to dental students. No way.
I know, but they probably said medical and we clumped in with them.
For us, it was dental students. I just felt bad. And like, okay, so it's 25 bodies. Everybody's carving up a body. And like, we're so bad at doing this.
Yes.
And it smells so horrific that
formaldehyde. I can still smell it now thinking back. Yeah.
Like of other 25 bodies, like one person found the heart. And then that heart became like the test. Like one person had a ventricle they didn't cut up into 10,000 pieces by
You didn't have anybody like helping you a drop?
It was like there were like dental students from like 3 years ago.
Oh, sorry, you didn't have the med students. You had the med students. I feel like they had a vested interest in the heart. So they were taking their time. They did it very beautifully.
I was like, when do we look at the teeth? Because I was looking at the cadaver teeth and they're like, we're not going to look at that.
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing was a waste. I remember one day they were like, who wants to come in on the weekend for a bonus advanced section and do the wrist? And I was like, not me.
I'm good. Yeah.
But people went.
I know. You just wanted to look like you were that guy. That's like part of the persona. No, you just always want to like one up.
It was funny. It was like the dumbest kids in the class. We were like, I want to learn the wrist. All the
they're living out their like medical school fantasies. See, I loved that about our experience, that we were like paired with the med students.
That would have killed me.
Really?
I would have been like,
I feel like I know that I could become a doctor.
I wonder what percentage of dental schools have the med students with them.
Ooh, yeah. No, that's not a fact that I have found, my friend.
We can look it up for a future podcast. If you know the answer, please email us at themediocredentist@gmail.com. Okay, we digress. Yes. We make it through cadaver dissection. We make it through walking through the bodies, picking out what the pin does. That's the ulnar nerve. That's this nerve, blah, blah, blah. Then you start the clinical. Then you start the preclinical. Mm-hmm. And okay, so to be clear, at the University of Pennsylvania Dental School of Medicine, first 6 months, just straight up, bio, pathology, microbiology, histology, and I'm on it. I'm on it like a fat kid on
your
cake.
Prime. Okay,
oh,
all right.
Man, I'm like, one book? Give me 3 microbiota. I'm sorry.
Only one test this week? Come on.
I didn't like the test. The test killed me. But studying for it, ganging up.
You're a puker. Did you puke? Did you heave?
Okay, for our general audience.
Okay. One of us has a weak stomach and one of us doesn't.
Before every test in dental school, starting with the histology exemption exam on Labor Day weekend of my first year, David Galler puked before every dental school exam. And by third year, if I wasn't puking, I was nervous about why I'm not puking.
Oh.
So it wasn't like throw up. It wasn't like last night's corn in the throw up. Like you could see it. It was just like...
so I don't resonate with the puking because I'm not a puker. Like I could stick my whole fist down my throat. I'm not going to vomit.
She can't do that, okay? She can't do that, just to be clear.
Okay, fair. Let's get back to it. Task at hand. I get the mentality of like getting up in your head when you didn't get too worried about it. Because you knew that baseline, you should be shitting your pants.
Oh my God.
That you're about to get judged against all your peers. You see yourself, you're like, I'm paying this amount of money per year. If I happen to fail this or if I don't make it through, like you're just like, you're doing the quick maths and you're like, you should be panicking.
Yeah.
And when you didn't panic.
I got more nervous.
But I also felt like when I was calm, because at first I was like, wow, I'm calm. I really know my stuff. Historically speaking, I always did poorer on the test when I was calm. But I developed like this weird pathology about it that if I got super worried, like the more worried that I was going to fail, the better I ended up doing. What is that?
Don't know.
Super pathological, super unhelpful to my sanity.
I see you're pathological, and I open it up by one more. Not only did David Galler dry heave before every test, I had a ritual. Back then, we used to have Scantrons, and you had a pencil and a Scantron and a paper book. So you'd have the paper book, and you'd write in your Scantrons. David Galler has a ritual that he wasn't proud of, but here's how it worked.
Okay, tell me.
There was a specific doctor in the class. I should probably look up her name.
Okay.
And we were friends.
Yes.
And she used to come with like a lot of pencils to the to the test. Like she had a little zipper and inside were like 10 number 2 pencils, sharpened, ready to go.
Ready to rock.
Every test. And it must have started somewhere in first year dental school that I forgot to bring a pencil and I didn't have one.
Yeah.
And I asked her to borrow one and I got like 100 on that test. And it was a really hard test.
So every single time after that, you had to ask her to borrow one of her pencils.
For the next 3 years and 6 months, including both parts of the national board, I would then approach her at the beginning of every class test. Ask her for a pencil. Use said pencil during the test. Then break the pencil after the test.
Why'd you break the freaking?
It was part of the routine.
Did you pay her for any of these pencils to replenish the stock?
Now that I'm telling the story and I'm not a poor dentist, I'm like a poor dental student, I wonder if I did.
I know, we should send her something.
I don't remember. I have to look through it.
Bit of a dick move. But I understand the process. We all have our things. I'm not particularly superstitious.
I had to sacrifice her because I graduated Omicron Kappa Epsilon.
Don't even know.
That means
did you just make that up?
No.
Sounds fake.
It's not fake.
Bullshit.
It's the Honor Society of the Dental Schools at Ivy League schools.
Oh, that's how they do it?
And I graduated in the top 10.
Okay.
Well,
we're Canadians, so we're much kinder, and we don't really try to be so judgy.
At the end of every exam in the University of Pennsylvania, they have a computer system that re-ranks you. 1 to 108.
Okay.
People dropping like fucking flies in the first year.
In the first year? Ooh, we didn't lose many. We did not lose many in the first year. By second year, though, and I was like, dude, you're 100K in. What are you going to do now? One became a yoga teacher, and I was like, I don't understand how this is going to
There was a husband and wife team.
Yeah.
1 week we had a microbiology test.
Yes.
And maybe cell biology or something. Two or three tests, like back to back.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. She dropped out.
Ooh, too much. But that's
I think she regretted it. Years later, I have to look them up.
Maybe we can get them on the podcast and see if they feel mediocre. They probably feel fucking amazing, actually.
She probably
They're not dentists.
Well, I don't feel mediocre. I'm great at what I do.
Yeah, love my family.
Right. So now we're 6 months into dental school, and this is the journey. This is the journey, and I hope our listeners can resonate with this journey, because if you're a dentist, you've been on this journey with us, and I'd love to hear about it. So I'm telling you my journey. I would love to hear that your best friend got drunk for a week in University of Michigan while you were taking labs. Like, how much life did we miss? We missed a lot of life.
I'm gonna have to stop you right here, because in Canada, I don't know if this is just Canada, in medical and dental school, we had this place called, I think it was what was it called? It was a place that we all went to party.
It's called a bar.
No, it was not.
Bar.
It was specifically for the medical students. It was created for them to unwind and like unburden themselves and like get themselves ready for the next week. I am telling you that the dentists and the doctors partied harder than anybody I could have ever imagined before that. So I'm happy for you in your Ivy school.
I don't think I partied at all.
No, I did have fun. I felt bad. I kind of kept it to myself earlier because.
How did you graduate?
I guess, well, as per you, because I'm hot.
You know your patients might be listening to this?
My patients would be the first to say.
You were partying in dental school? We were partying in dental school. There was no time.
We partied a lot.
We had tests all the time.
Can I please also tell you what I also was doing? And maybe I'm just a better person than you. Like, I'm not sure. It's becoming a little bit clear to me that I can actually accomplish quite a bit. I also sat on the board of directors of I don't even think it had, they did have a dental program there. Sat on the board of directors. I have to look into what it was. Reach Community Health Center.
Oh, okay. Don't give me the bullshit helping out people.
No,
give out like a t-shirt.
I played intramural hockey team. I didn't even know how to play hockey. I picked up an adult
crazy
skill.
You.
No, I was partying. I was studying a lot.
Bullshit.
I'm keen.
Bullshit.
No, not bullshit. No bullshit. You can do more than one thing. I was, I could.
Do you remember your 4 years of dental school as like party time or like hard work time? Because I remember it as hard work time.
No, I remember thinking, these motherfuckers are one day going to operate on my body, and I know that they are a freaking drunken lush, and I'm a little bit worried.
Why are the dental students operating on your body?
It wasn't because we were partying with the med students. We were paired with them. We were friends with them. We were one for 2 years.
What was happening at the parties? Why are people touching your body at the parties?
We were having fun, like dance-offs. You know that Call on Me thing? One of my good friends, Crystal Janiki, she created this whole thing. We did like this
amazing. We can't say
amazing.
people's name on the podcast.
I think she'd be okay with it.
Okay. What did Crystal do?
She taught us a dance. Call on Me. We dressed up in 80s garb. We looked fantastic. We made quite the impression.
So you had one dancing night in dental school, and now you remember it being fun and
the
all
entire
gamey?
thing. Every Friday night, people went there. It was called something. It started with an M, and I don't remember anymore because I'm old.
Called the M Bar.
No, it's not.
You thought this is just a place that people go to drink.
Everybody
goes to drink all the time.
No, it was
it's a bar. They serve alcohol. You drink the drinks. You feel a little better till you feel terrible in the morning.
It wasn't a bar. It was literally made. It was like.
Did they serve alcohol?
Yes.
Did you drink the alcohol?
I did.
Was there anything else that happened there other than drinking alcohol?
I think people studied during the week. Like, I feel like it was like a whole like little center, and it served multiple purposes.
But mostly to serve alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, it's stressful.
We had one in Penn too, like that.
Okay.
It was called a bar.
It was called fine. All right.
Okay.
Well,
So we get into, and here's I think where the story diverges, and I think a lot of people can resonate with this. So I'm not trying to flex, but first 6 months of dental school, I'm fucking killing it.
Okay.
I'm killing it. I took a histology exemption exam at the beginning of the first year of dental school. Never took histology in college. I literally studied for 4 nights, 4 days and 4 nights over Labor Day weekend, 1998.
Yeah.
And I passed the histology exemptions. I didn't have to take histology the first year.
Okay.
Cut out one entire course. I'm killing on every front. I mean, breaking pencils, hundreds on every test.
I forgot to say, I also started taking salsa dancing. I did salsa dancing. And I also learned what sushi was. I grew up very like middle class, and I ate a lot of McDonald's, and I did not know what sushi and all these like fancy foods were because I wasn't cut the same as the rest of the people in my class. I was focusing a lot on that. You're killing it in school. I'm getting by.
I thought the name of the game was
but I'm getting cultured.
Beat everyone else on every test.
It's not how we did.
Dr. David Galler was doing that.
Very different experiences.
And then dental school took a little bit of a turn for us because 7 months in, we went to a place called Pre-Clinic. And the instructor goes, I don't really care how smart you are. Here's a piece of wax. Make it look like a tooth. And I said, it's a piece of wax. Don't look like a tooth to me. And he'd be like, carve it, bitch. I was like, what? I was like, I don't know how to carve anything. I went to dental school, not art school. And that was a bad day. And the worst part was, I was like, well, this is stupid. And I turned around as my fingers are glued together with blue wax. And I was like, anybody else want to do this shit? And of course, there were like 20 people out of 100 who in 30 seconds created a perfect looking fucking tooth out of wax.
How'd that make you feel?
2 minutes ago, it was a piece of wax, and now it's a tooth. It looked like a tooth. I would put that in my mouth. It would look like a tooth. And the whole dental school done turned upside down.
Okay.
Me and my friends that were the smarties, talking to you, Scott Nord, we were like, what? Yeah, I know, but that was a compliment. Okay. We were like, this was not in the brochure about dental school.
It was literally on the dental aptitude test. You literally had to carve a piece of soap into some random, like, various line angles and whatnot to a T. So don't give me that
Not
bullshit.
in America after 1994, but 1988.
You didn't do soap carving?
They took it out in 1988.
88? Did you just make that up?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
But it was definitely not there when I took the test.
I'm younger than you, and I did have to do it.
It was a Canadian version of the DATS. Clearly, everything's behind about 10 years.
Okay.
All
right.
But Dr. Duniski, let's tell the audience, after your 6 months of salsa dancing, sleeping with the med students, going to bars, the game changes quite a bit. You go to preclinical. What was your preclinical life like?
I mean, funny story. We didn't start anything preclinical. We had something called boot camp, and that didn't start till after second year.
Wait.
Yeah, no, we didn't touch. We literally, in first year, the only human mouth that I touched was a denture patient. That was all that we did. I did not look at a tooth. These people were edentulous.
When did you do waxing?
We didn't per se do waxing.
You didn't wax any teeth?
We had to once, for like a cosmetic purpose, we had to recreate like a canine to
No,
canine
I'm talking
situation.
about they gave you blue wax. What? You don't even know what I'm talking about.
No.
They gave a...
I have no idea what you're talking about. I did not touch a page, but you should be worried. You should be actually coming at me and being like, you literally only like drilled into shit for 2 years.
You didn't drill into a typodont tooth till the 3rd year?
No, I said in between 2nd and 3rd year, they did this little thing called boot camp. And it was where everyone like shit their pants because they're like, for 2 years, I've been learning what the 4 layers of muscles in the foot. Thanks for all of that. Doing a little bit of like clinical knowledge here and there, but really we're kind of doing everything with the med students. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I could be a doctor. Cool. I got to live out that fantasy. Rad. And now I'm like, but what I came here to do is drill into shit. And I don't even know if I can do it and I'm 100K in the hole. And what if my hand like doesn't actually know how to accomplish anything?
So you didn't work on any typodonts till when?
Boot camp.
What? How long was boot camp?
I don't remember, but like a month.
A month? That's it?
That's all you did.
And then you went to live patients?
No. Don't be crazy. No, I don't even remember what we did in boot camp really, but we did. That was like the first time I held a drill in my hand.
Okay.
And then we had to like, I guess there were some competencies and things like we were like drilling into things and getting used to even looking in a mirror because that was weird. You have to get used to like do Michelangelo level shit.
I know. We started doing that 6 months in.
So imagine how terrifying that was for us. And then in order to get into a patient's mouth, you had to do like, you had to like pass a certain number of things. Like no doubt we had to like do the competencies, but it was so crammed into a small like window of opportunity.
Oh my God.
I know, my armpits are sweating now. You're making me feel bad about my situation.
Okay, at the University of Pennsylvania, this process started in February of your first year and stretched for 18 months.
All right.
Our boot camp was 18 months. Then after 18 months of practicing on plastic teeth, then they let us look at a real person's tooth.
I love that for you. Isn't it weird that I'm actually
18 months.
You had that head start and yet still I can do it better than you. Weird.
Terrifying. So dental school takes a turn for us, and the clinical skill, like it's the great equalizer because the smart kids. We try. I remember crying. I remember going in on a Sunday to wax a molar, just practicing.
Well, you were one of those types. You went in.
I went in to practice constantly. And it required all effort on deck.
Okay, so that stuff. So like I had to study. I've always had to study. Like I do
not
well
on the DATs.
Except for the DATs. But I studied.
Is anybody even listening to this?
Listen, it's about to get worse. Do you want to hear something worse? I thought I couldn't top that because I was feeling pretty bad about that. But you were expected more or less. It wasn't like they checked you or anything, but you were like supposed to stay after classes. And I think there was like a 2-hour window where you could just like, you could drill, you could practice stuff.
Yeah, I practiced all the time.
I know, but so there's this thing where I moved far away from the school and I found quite quickly that I don't like rush hour traffic. And I only ever ended up staying 3 days in all of dental school after class to practice.
Ever.
And I was the first into clinical though. I was the first into a mouth.
Okay, so I practiced after school every day for 18 months. And I came in on the weekends to drill more. Because before I touched my first human patient, I wanted to be the best that there could be. And there's only one way Kobe Bryant says to be the best. And that is by practice.
Okay, Mamba. But I was
gifted.
I was lucky, but I did have to study a lot in dental school, and I was a nerd, and I really did prepare for a lot of things, even though I didn't do very well for the DAT. I did it well for all the other things, but that was my time to shine. That's the stuff I love. I love creating. I like the artistry. I love the blend of science and artistry. In fact, it's what drew me to this profession, and I was lucky, and I know that. I don't take it for granted, but I am also very type A, so those things, it came pretty naturally to me.
Let's talk about best day in dental school, worst day in dental school. Let's be real. Going to an Ivy League school had no impact on my career.
let's be real, even the worst Canadian university is still better than the best Ivy League school.
Let's be real. Nobody remembers that I graduated in the top of my dental school and graduated with a 3.99 from college.
Let's be real. It's been 17 years and I still feel as mediocre as ever.
Let's be real. And now a word from this episode's sponsor. I know we swore we would not have sponsors, but the money was too good and we sold out.
Today's episode is sponsored by Kuza Wealth Management, i.e. Steve Kuza, who's a dude that you just trust with your money.
You need to have one of those in your life.
If you don't have a Steve Kuza in your life, you getting hosed. You have to manage your money. You're making money as a dentist. Don't just put it under your mattress.
Is anybody doing that?
Yeah,
All
people
right.
still do that.
Okay.
Don't just put it in your safe, and don't trust your cousin Jimmy.
Just ask Steve.
Don't just ask Steve, what do I do with my money? Or am I protected? Do I have enough insurance?
Mm-hmm.
He is a wealth management company. He's been a great friend to us and to the Mediocre Dentist podcast. Check it out, Steve Kuza, Wealth Management, information on there.
Are we sold out? Well, we sold out.
Well, Andrea, you know what time it is.
I sure do, David.
It is time for the DATs. You remember the DATs, Mark?
Does that ring a bell?
Wow, that's a blast from the
taken that
past.
test?
Oh, yeah.
Well, here on the
Yes.
Mediocre Dentist podcast, the DAT stands for something else. It stands for the Dental Anxiety Test.
Anxiety test. Dental anxiety test.
That was terrible times. I don't know now though. How does it compare to now? Because I remember those days, and I don't know now as opposed to back then if there's still that same level of stress or if it's, I don't know.
He can't get that out of his mind. You actually just said dental anxiety test, which has nothing to do with the dental aptitude test.
I was
giving
thinking
you
of
a
Still
different
there.
test.
He can't get out of it. He's like, I'm there.
We're
He's
giving
back
you
there.
a different test to test your anxiety.
Okay.
We're not going to do the dental aptitude test. But
All right.
interesting note by my co-host that he is still stressed about a
That's
test
a
he
perfect
took
intro into
close
this
to
test.
25 years ago,
Right.
did well enough to get into dental school,
Yep.
and should be a feather in his cap, and yet is something he still stresses about.
Yeah.
So for our listening audience, we're joined today by Dr. Mark Anderson from New Orleans, Louisiana, has a beautiful office down there, has reached diamond with Invisalign, super successful by any standards. How many staff?
We're about 20.
20 staff.
Yeah.
Dr. Kaylin Fry, one of our good friends, is an associate. Claim to fame for Dr. Mark, he is the dentist for the Pelicans.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He is an
Shabby.
avid sports fan. First question, how does Zion fit in a dental chair?
That's an answer. Everyone always wants to know about Zion.
Zion.
Zion doesn't come. Zion has not. He's always missed his appointment.
Whoa, that is the Mediocre Dentist podcast scoop of the year. That's going to be
It's been once or
Sean,
twice.
put that in the promo. We got a scoop on Zion. Some of his poor play related to not going to see
Poor
the
oral
dentist.
hygiene.
We just haven't had the opportunity to have him in a
He's-
dental office.
our-
A couple of times he was going to come in, and then we haven't had him in the chair.
And that non-treated gum disease might be related to his constant injuries.
He gets a bad rap for that, I know. I mean, he's not on the court a lot, but I swear he's a good. Whenever I see him, he's a good guy, man.
Except
He works
for
hard.
the pockets on his molars.
Could be.
Could be.
There's a possibility.
All right. Mark, first question. We're going to ask you 15 questions. You just answer honest. Because the people out there driving to work, dentists, men and women who might be working 7 days a week, but some people just work a day a week.
Yeah.
And they look at you and they'll be like, this guy's got it. He's top of the game. But they don't realize that you still stress sometimes. So let's take them through 15 questions. Let's see how Mark really functions. All right. How many years ago did you graduate LSU? You graduated LSU?
LSU.
How many years ago?
24 years ago.
24 years
Class
ago. You've been in
2000.
dentist. Class of 2000. Congratulations. Right. When you go to sleep at night, you ever flash back to dental school?
No.
Never.
Never.
Not once.
You had a good time? It was pleasant
for the
there?
most part, it was pretty decent. Yeah.
Okay.
Never. No, I never think about dental school.
Ever?
Much. Rare. It's rare. Okay. Only when I'm around, like,
I'm talking when you're sleeping, when the subconscious takes over.
Never.
All right.
Never.
Dental school. LSU.
LSU Dental.
Mark's got long sideburns.
Not quite, but.
Walk us through your worst day in dental school.
Oh man, worst day in dental school. Probably, all right. It would be when I was working on a patient.
Okay, so I like it. We're getting specific.
Yeah, so
you can see. I see. Yeah. Your eyes. You see the patient.
Yeah, I specifically remember the instructor and everything, and it was one of these amalgam MOD or DOB, and the margin was so sub G, and it was bleeding, and I couldn't control it, and I was up against the clock. We had to finish at a certain time.
Ain't nobody suctioning for a third-year dental student.
No, forget it.
You're on your own.
So I finished this thing, and then the instructor was coming to look at me during the whole thing and kind of looking like, well, you still got, he wasn't saying anything that led me to believe that I wasn't going to pass. But when I got to the end, I finally beat the clock. He writes me up, and I didn't pass. I got an F, and it was because I didn't polish the amalgam.
Oh, Jesus.
He said, well, it wasn't polished. Yeah.
What? And you're like, there was a bloodbath here a minute ago. It's a miracle.
And it was a fail. I had to redo the whole, I had to do, on another patient, but I had to, that was it. Like,
so this was an exam.
It was like we had little practicals. Like we had to do, on patients, and that one, so I had to redo it on another patient, another MOD or whatever, amalgam on another patient. Yeah. So that was all for naught. It was just like nothing.
That guy, he not the dentist for the Pelicans. He's some little bitch in New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still alive. He was a dinosaur. So he's probably not with us anymore.
But that memory's still there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was frustrating. Yeah, and it was stressful. I was sweating, and it was stressful. Yeah.
But that lesson made you a better dentist.
Maybe.
No,
I don't think so.
No, it didn't at all.
I don't think so.
That was bullshit.
It didn't. Just remind you that a mark of mediocre.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You've been in practice for a long time. Your practice is a big success. Obviously, we've seen I've seen your work through your work for Invisalign and stuff. Sunday nights, 5:00. You get a little nervous.
Well, actually, I maybe I used to because I don't work on Monday.
We got ourselves a solution. Wow, to our listening audience, the way to escape the Sunday scaries
is
don't work on Monday. Start on Tuesday.
Start on Tuesday. And I work Tuesday through Friday, but I love those Mondays off. I just love it because you're right. I would say even prior to dental school, probably just in my college and even high school days, Sunday nights, you were a little stressed out. Like, man, tomorrow did I do this? Did I pass?
Does that happen on Monday night?
It does. I guess it does.
Okay, I got a story.
But it's Monday, so it's like no one else. The world's just gone. You know what I mean?
I have something to admit to our listening audience and to our podcast audience that you might not even know.
What's this?
But there was like a 5-year part of my life from 2010, 2015. I also decided to take off Mondays.
Really?
Because the Sunday scaries were too much, and I couldn't handle it. I was also working on Sundays.
I was just gonna say
I was working on Sundays, but I decided to take Mondays off. And I gotta be honest, it was horrible.
Oh, you didn't like
it? It was horrible.
Having Monday?
Yeah, because Monday, everybody getting up and going. Everybody's getting it. Kids are going to school. Everyone's going to work. Even like the disc jockey on the morning show is like, all right, everybody, good morning, getting her today. And I'm just sitting in my pajamas in my kitchen at 9:30, and I'm going like, I'm such an asshole. Yeah. Like I'm mediocre. I'm gonna be. Piece of shit. And then I'm like, should I go out and buy gas? And I'm like, oh no, you're not working today. Can't afford it. So maybe you just why don't you just eat beans for dinner? Because you probably shouldn't order dinner in because you got the problem.
I don't know. I don't feel that way on Mondays. Maybe, I don't know.
Good. Pause
Sorry.
1 second.
Pause. We have our crazy.
Just gonna see our lady here.
Where you going, lady? Just for a stroll.
That's the neighbor.
She's so fucked.
Yeah, that's what they were saying
so
on the
fucking
chat.
mad.
She's neighborhood watch.
She.
Is it always been or just
No
recent?
problems. No problems.
Oh, why are we?
I don't want you yelling at my friends.
Wow.
What did she say?
She crazy. She does get scared when she sees me.
Which one? Which neighbor?
Right to
She's
the.
walking down to the post thing. She walks
She
down the
lives
street.
next door, like
She's right there. Yeah.
She's so fucking crazy. She's come at me
She's
now,
done
threw
time.
rocks at me. Like she's
done like she's
literally
certifiable.
like don't be
done
out
time.
there when it's not worth
But
it.
when she
She's-
sees me, she gets
she's
scared.
done
When she sees
time.
Andrea,
That's all you
she's
need to
all
know.
like yelling at
Yeah.
Andrea,
She-
talking tough. But
What hood do you guys live in?
exactly. Like, what is
see her.
fucking hell? She's already she owned two
the hood of
properties.
$1 million houses. You know what I'm saying?
But she owned two of
We're
them.
almost. We're doing good.
She
We're not
owns
running too
another
late.
one over there,
which
but
is
it got
good for us.
foreclosed. I
Welcome
have
to
no
my
idea
home in
where
Las
the fuck
Vegas.
she gets her money from. But
We
she
live in the
apparently
hood.
comes from it. Her family's disowned her.
Do you want a
and
pizza?
She's just wild.
Okay. Is your husband back at the hotel? You could have
So
brought him
sorry
over.
about
No,
that.
no,
Sorry.
hey.
So funny. What kind of hood you guys live in?
I
Is he
saw,
co-
I
is he coming
saw
tomorrow night?
David like I saw David see her.
His eyes.
I
yeah.
know. I was like,
Sorry
oh,
about
he's
that.
out there.
Crazy woman. Okay.
We're good.
Okay. So we were good. That was actually a really good answer. Okay.
That was great. Yeah. You're
10
awesome.
seconds and we go.
Okay.
Blood pressure come down. So it's a Sunday in New Orleans and you're not working, you're relaxing, and you're just flipping through the New Orleans Times. And on page 6, next to the Pelican scores, you see an advertisement for another dentist in New Orleans. First thing that goes through your head.
Where is this? I don't know. I guess it's like, where is this going to be? You know, it's a competitive kind of.
Why?
What is it about us?
You have so many patients.
Yes.
You can't even see everybody that you
Yes,
have, Mark.
you're right.
But one
Where's this
person
person?
advertising, you're like, I fucking want to kill him.
Yes. No, you're right. It is our nature. Right? I don't know how to explain that. We're always looking at the.
I can
looking at
explain
the-
it.
What is it? What is it?
We all feel mediocre.
You think?
And you just worried that someone else advertising now. Now they're going to steal all your patients. Everybody going to find out you mediocre.
Yeah.
Good.
Might be.
Get a
might,
check on that.
Might,
All right.
might be what's right, but you're
You
right.
show up at work on Tuesday.
Okay.
I love this.
You're
I'm
going
writing
to
this
do that.
down.
You're going to
Yeah,
start
I know,
working
I know.
on Tuesday.
I'm out. Yeah.
You're going to write a book, How to Skip the Sunday Scares. You show up at work on
Okay.
Tuesday, and you're responsible, Mark. You want to know what's coming through. So you look through the schedule, and you see that Thursday, 10 a.m., on the schedule, it says John Voldemort. And you don't like John.
Okay.
You know who John is.
Yeah.
What do you feel on Tuesday morning?
When I see John on the schedule.
You see, it's 48 hours from now.
Yeah.
It doesn't even say anything bad. It just says
Yeah.
consult.
Well, right away you get that feeling, right? You know, like when you see a name, you get that little feeling inside. But the first thing, I guess I start to think, am I going to have enough time? Do I have everything ready? Why is that guy there? I don't
You
know.
don't even know
start-
why it's
yeah.
coming in. It just says consult.
Yeah.
Just ominous words.
I guess I get a little nervous.
Little
you know?
nervous.
Yeah, a
How
little
long
bit.
do you think about it?
Not much.
Tuesday
It's
night?
just-
You think about it Tuesday night?
I think maybe that helps me. I'm just real busy, you know. I don't know. It goes out. Maybe I think about it for a little while, but then I get one other problem and one other, and this patient, that patient, and it's gone. And then I see it Thursday morning. I'm like, damn. And I forgot about it altogether. And then I remembered, but maybe the fact that I saw it Tuesday made it a little lighter and easier when I see it Thursday. And I don't know.
That's good though. If you can get it out of your
I
head,
mean, that's incredible.
that's because nobody else
Enviable.
can.
Yeah.
Because we just think about it all day, all night. I think about it Tuesday night before I go to sleep. I think about it all day.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. You've been practicing dentistry for a long time.
Yeah.
You deep on an MOD. Deep.
Yeah.
Deeper than the x-ray showed. Way deeper. And you getting even deeper. But you're still in soft. It's brown and soft. And you still going deep. We on low speed now.
And I'm that guy. I want to save. I'm old school. We want to save them. I think the newer people want to maybe take them out and talk about implants. But I'm like that guy.
And this patient thinks they're here for an occlusal on 18.
I'm with you.
They're here for an 18 occlusal, but this is not going as planned.
Yeah.
And you're on slow speed round burn now. Is there a voice in the back of your head that's going, you pulped it, you pulped it, you pulped it, you pulped it?
Actually, no.
You don't have a pessimistic voice in your head on every procedure?
No.
It's just all shits and giggles, happy rainbows up there. I'm going to get to the bottom of this thing without a pulp horn.
Or if he does, he's going to do a root canal. Maybe he's just
or
ready
I
for
just
whatever.
pulp cap it. I don't know. I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, I'll put a cap, I'll tell them, or we'll jump right into the root canal. But
how do you decide when to pulp cap and when to root canal? Does it have
I think
to
it's got a gusher. It's got to be a gusher. So
gusher.
If I see red and it's there, I'll pulp cap. I do I just do Theracal. But if it's bleeding and if it's then I'm like, well, if it's bleeding, if it continues to bleed, it's an RCT.
When you see that little head of blood,
I'm okay. Or the blood, actually coming into.
Just like the little. Hi, I'm here. Poking through, you feel a little sad. Little piece of you died?
Yeah, like a failure. I did something wrong.
You did it, Not the bugs, not the bacteria.
Yeah. If it's not a voice in your head.
It's not really a voice in my head. It's just something like, dang, I could have avoided this.
But you know why it happened?
Why is that?
Because you're mediocre.
Right.
If another dentist who wasn't mediocre would be doing it, it wouldn't happen, right, Mark?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
How often do you check reviews?
I do that a lot. I check reviews a lot.
Let's put it in a quantitative.
Yeah.
For our audience.
I would say, what it is I get review. So whenever we get a Google review, I get it on my email.
Okay. Slow down.
Yeah.
So you get that email.
Yeah.
What's your first thought when you see just the email? It doesn't say what it says. What's the first thought in that email?
Well, when I see the review,
you just see someone says, you have a new review.
We have this system where we have a lot of them, so I don't jump into that anxiety yet. But now you could see the whole email on your phone, and I could already see the 1 star, and then that's where it is.
That's a mean.
You hit because maybe of all the things that you've mentioned so far, that one does get to me. And I could be at a game, I could be in a great situation, and I just we're creatures that we're always looking at our phones, and when I see that, I'm just like, what? And then I open it up and read it, and then I start to call what happened, start to find out where did this go wrong? Because most of the time I don't know about it. It's because I have a lot of doctors, and it's something that I didn't even know happened. You know what I mean?
But it kills a little piece of you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How long you think about it?
So, it depends on how bad it is. If it's just a little, if it's a bad one, medium-ish. It'll probably be in my head for a while. Yeah, until I go to bed. Yeah.
Go to bed? 4 hours from now? I'd like to introduce you to our bobblehead doll that we call Bullshit. Maybe you go to sleep 3 weeks from now. You think it's out of your head tomorrow? I call bullshit.
Oh, yeah?
I think you hold on to that for a couple of weeks.
Well, I've learned now, you're right, it used to get to me a lot more, but we use a system, we get so many reviews, and maybe because it's such a big practice that it gets buried so fast that it's out of my head. I don't think about it. I used to do the whole Sherlock Holmes, call Chelsea, call the hygienist, let me have a meeting, where did this go wrong along the chain of things, what could we have done better?
Yeah.
Now I'm to the point where I don't do that anymore. I'm just unless it's something that is different, that stands out, some protocol thing, but most of the time now, just it's in my head. Right away I get that anxiety. I go to bed thinking about it, and then the next day it's too much on my plate. It's gone.
Everybody the same.
It's gone.
We all the same. Conversely, you open up that email and it says, Dr. Anderson's amazing.
Oh,
how long you think about that?
I'm
how long does that make you happy?
Probably till I go to bed. And then it's done,
All right. You walking by the front desk and you see a fax in the fax machine. Nobody's here. Receptionist has gone home. You pull out the fax and it says that Mrs. Smith wants to transfer her records. First off.
Well, it was like a failure. Where did we go wrong? That's a bad one too. Maybe not as bad because now we're in New Orleans, and New Orleans has a lot of people that like come through and they move. So most of the time, these are people moving. And
that's not your first thought.
No, you're right. You're right. It's not my first thought. You're right.
Your first thought is
where did we go wrong? Where
did we go wrong?
You're allowed to swear. You don't have to muff. Yeah.
You're allowed to swear here.
Okay.
Okay. You get a check for that one.
Yeah.
Because you know why she transferred. Because she found out
what?
You a mediocre dentist. That's what's going through your head.
You're right.
All right.
Right.
How often you check overhead income?
Hardly ever.
Once a week,
I
once
just
a
check.
month, once a quarter, once a year.
I just check my bank account. That's all I look at. I don't look at the
You don't
numbers.
check? You don't look
Not
at
a
the
bad
numbers?
I don't look at that.
Your office manager stealing, robbing blind.
I mean, it could be. I mean,
Could
my
be.
wife looks at all that. But,
Okay.
but I don't get hung up on that.
How often do you no charge?
Probably too much. I do that a lot.
Why?
Yeah, I'm just that guy, Like I don't know. A lot. Too much. Too much. You're right. Yeah, I do that too often. Just people and you think like, well, I just did this MIFL. What's the cutoff? What's the cutoff for the MIFL that comes back?
90 days, everybody knows that. 90 days written on it.
So 90 days you charge after
yeah.
90 days. You see, I
Really?
need to have that spine. I don't. My thing is like a year. Where did a year come in hand?
MIFL. My dad,
Uh-huh.
he had a time limit. 40 years.
Oh yeah, 40 years. Mine's like 6 months to a year. If it's
You'd be
6
like, I
months-
did this one back in 43. That's why I'm redoing it.
Yeah, no. So,
Too much, no charge.
Yeah,
All right, so you walk
yeah.
by the break room, and there's some people sitting there. Betty, Veronica, and Jill, hygienist, receptionist, assistant.
Yeah.
As you walk into the break room, they stop talking.
Yeah, all the time.
What are you thinking?
They're talking about something with the office. Probably not me particularly, but
Really?
something that they don't like about the office or about someone else in the office. I never think they're talking about me, though.
That's good.
Okay,
That's healthy.
Absolutely.
That's healthy.
I can
Because
get
the rest of
behind
us
that.
are thinking, that tooth would have pulped on anybody. Like, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth. That tooth would have pulped on anybody. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're talking about how bad of a dentist I am.
Oh, yeah?
Have you ever done an Instagram or TikTok dance in the waiting room?
Never. Instagram, I do pictures and all that, but not a dance in the waiting room. No.
Choreographed
No.
motion, come to Mid-City
Mid-City
Smiles.
No, but we've done some goofy stuff. But no, I'm not that guy like to do the actual dances, and all that. No.
What if I told you that if you dress up like a chicken
Yeah.
and dance around the waiting room, proven extra 20 patients a month, would you do it?
No. I wouldn't. I don't think I would do it.
All right.
These are people.
These
Yeah.
are good. 4:30, phone rings. You going home.
Okay.
New patient, broke a tooth. Can Dr. Mark see me?
See, I don't even know if that's happening anymore, but and I know if it is, they're saying no. So they're
So just
the
a
people
no.
who are answering the
It's
phone.
very
are saying
clear on the
no.
website what time we go home.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a no.
See you tomorrow.
But if they text me and it's a friend, it depends on the anxiety or something. Then I might do it, or they send me the picture. I asked for a picture. I asked for proof.
Yep.
Proof. Proof of life. Proof of life.
Like, show me
Well,
how
what
bad
if
it
I
is.
get
Oh,
it?
that's not a
Exactly.
big deal.
Exactly. This is going to take me 5 minutes. No problem.
Yeah, because that's what we're thinking.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a handpiece. Here's the burr. Please grab it.
Okay.
You want to burr right here?
Oh,
Sorry,
it's
other
great.
side. You're going to prep number 18 and 19 for me now.
Okay.
Okay. Anesthesia's good.
Okay.
Lean back the chair.
Okay.
Step on the rheostat. Instead of
Okay.
hearing, you hear. What do you
The
do?
Patient, like feeling it.
No. You just step on the handpiece and you hear.
It's not working. Oh, that's
What's your first thing you do? What do you do? What do you do?
I look at the burr, I pull it up, and I usually spin it.
Yeah! Point for David.
We need to keep track of this. No, this is bullshit.
Yes.
Was that instinct, or did someone teach you that? Because
it's been passed down from generation to generation of dentists.
It's not
that
true.
You know what she does? She just keeps sending the handpieces back.
Like an asshole.
We have like $1 trillion handpiece bill for repairs.
Literally just sent out 6.
I'll start turning. Yeah.
Just turn it.
Yeah.
Like a
lawnmower.
It just
You're not worried about your fingers. Your hands are your life. No.
All right, Mid-City Smile's got a lot of people working, a lot of things going on. Kaylin's working this room, you're working that room, everyone working that room.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have different floors and everything.
Different floors.
Yeah.
Are there a few instruments that you like an elevator that just you like, a spoon?
Yeah.
Do you hide instruments?
I don't hide them, but there's some that I can't live without. Like this little gray elevator. It's like this little.
How do you keep them so that nobody else gets them by accident? They don't go back into the gen pop.
I just tell the assistants, and I think they know. I think they, you know what? I think they bought more now, though. You know
so that you always have that.
Yeah, I always have it.
You always have it.
Yeah, but as far as like a hiding place from my stuff, my associate, like Kaylin, probably hides stuff like crazy.
She called out Kaylin. Kaylin, if you listen, we on to you. We know you hide in that good rubber dam clamp.
Yeah,
that one that's not
fresh.
stretched
No,
out.
You don't want to stretch it.
We know that slow speed hand. Yeah, just perfect. We know you hide. Mark is on to you. Last question, Mark.
Yes.
This many years later, 24 years later, super successful by every account, personal, professionally, patients, community. How often you feel mediocre? Every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year? Never?
I mean, I wouldn't say never. You know, there are those what you just brought up, the bad reviews, that comes in, but it's not often. No, I feel like, I guess I feel fairly confident, about that. I don't know if that's the right word, but no, I don't think I'm mediocre too often. No.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna hit the bullshit. Thanks very much for coming. Appreciate you having on the show. That's a wrap for today. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Oh, you're great. His laugh is great. Isn't his laugh great?
Amazing.
Your laugh is legendary.
Thank you so much, sir.
No, thank you guys.
Awesome.
You guys are warriors.
Awesome.
I don't know how you're doing this.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
The mediocre dentist, the mediocre dentist. 'Cause sometimes you just feel mediocre. The mediocre dentist, the mediocre dentist. I am mediocre, you are mediocre, and that's not that bad.